She shows interest, then disappears. One day you feel like her world, the next, you're invisible. It's a roller coaster of signals. But let's be real, that's not love, that's manipulation. And every time you respond emotionally, you give away your power. In today's video, we flip the script. You stop reacting, you stop guessing, you stop playing the part of her emotional puppet. From now on, you control the energy. You become the shift. Let's dive in. Number 1. Don't react. Lead. When she pulls away, most guys chase, they panic, they try harder, but not you. Not anymore. You lead with composure. You don't follow uncertainty, you set the tone. A stoic man doesn't get pulled by drama or silence. He remains centered, grounded. When she expects you to crack, you remain calm, and that calm changes everything. If she posts something to spark jealousy or ghosts your texts just to test you, don't bite, don't decode, don't overanalyze. A man who knows his value doesn't chase confusion, he walks away from it. Imagine this, she gets distant, cold. She expects desperate texts. What's wrong? But you give her space. Not out of spite, but because you're not fighting for attention. You're building something real. And if she's playing games, she'll be playing alone. Your silence, your stillness, they say more than any words. That's Stoicism in action. As Marcus Aurelius said, if you're disturbed by something external, the pain is not from the thing itself, but your perception of it. And that perception, you control. You choose peace over chaos, intention over reaction. That's your power. That's when she realizes she's no longer calling the shots, you are. So when she tests your resolve again, remember, your strength is in your pause, your clarity, your control. That's not detachment, that's leadership. And that's unforgettable. Number 2, stop chasing. Become the gravity. When you chase, you confirm the game. But when you pour your energy into your purpose, your health, your goals, you become magnetic. She can feel your shift. She senses you're no longer orbiting around her attention. You're building your own world now. Like the Stoics said, be something the world can't ignore. Not because you shout louder, but because you stand firm in your value. No more reacting to breadcrumbs. No more trying to impress. You don't compete for space in her life. You expand in your own. Think about the guy who gets left on read. Does he double text? No. He gets up early, crushes his workout, smashes his goals, hangs with people who uplift him, ends his day sharpening his mind with a book, not for her, for himself, because that's who he is now. That's the shift. That's gravity. And when you shift the focus inward, you stop playing her game. She might expect you to ask for closure, to prove your worth, but you don't shrink, you rise, you let your growth speak for itself, and suddenly, she's the one noticing. So if this resonates, drop a comment. Let the world know. I don't chase, I build. And if this hits home, give it a like. Let's move forward. It only gets better. Number 3. Calm is your weapon. She stirs drama. Let her. Your stillness is what unsettles her. She's used to power through chaos, not peace. But the man who doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, doesn't explode, that man commands attention. That's not emotional detachment. That's discipline. And it's rare. In a world where people react to everything, silence becomes a language of strength. She goes distant. She drops bait. She tests you, maybe even without realizing it. And most men fall for it. They react. They panic. They spiral. You breathe. Because your peace doesn't depend on her validation. Your purpose doesn't bend to her mood. You hold the frame. That's stoic power. That's who you're becoming. She pulls away. You chase. She creates distance. You panic. She creates drama. You try to fix it. It's a cycle and she's seen it before. But what happens when you break the pattern? When you stop moving to her and start standing still in your power? When you stop proving your worth and start protecting your peace? That's when the dynamic flips. You become like a mountain beside the fire, still, composed, present, not cold, not bitter, just centered. And that unshakable calm, it shakes her more than any emotional outburst ever could. Because now, she's confused. Why isn't he reacting? Why does he seem okay without me? That curiosity becomes doubt. That doubt becomes desire. The Stoics knew this truth well. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control her silence, her games, or the triggers she tries to pull. but your response, that's yours. When you choose calm over chaos, peace over panic, the entire energy shifts. Let's say one day she blocks you, then posts a flirtatious story, then disappears for a week. That's not affection. That's a game. She wants confusion. She expects you to reach out, spiral, seek clarity, but you don't flinch. You don't chase. You stay rooted. You stay focused. And that silence, she hears it louder than any text you could send, because now you're not reacting. You've simply outgrown the need to. You've moved beyond the push-pull, beyond the emotional, yo. And for the first time, she realizes she's no longer steering your emotions. Your calm becomes your message. Number 4. Know the difference between interest and a test. Not every act of attention is real. Sometimes it's bait. She flirts, then vanishes. She opens up, then shuts down. A Stoic man doesn't jump at every sign of warmth. He observes. He analyzes. Because he knows, if you have to perform to be chosen, you're not being valued. You're being auditioned, and you're not here to earn a role in someone else's script. You're here to live in your truth. When she pulls back, gets distant, or goes cold, it's not always confusion. Sometimes it's a test. She wants to see, will you chase? Will you fold? Will you break your peace to earn her validation? Most men do. They react, they explain, they overextend. But a game changer, he stays still. He doesn't fall for the illusion of interest. He doesn't beg for clarity. He doesn't dance with confusion. He remains grounded. Marcus Aurelius said, if it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. And if her actions aren't aligned with sincerity, don't entertain them. Don't react. Don't engage. Don't engage. Let her feel the silence. Let her feel the weight of her own inconsistency. Because you're not here to be tested. You're here to lead. And when she realizes her games don't move you, she begins to question her own moves. So remember this. Your value is not in how hard you chase. It's in how peacefully you walk away from what's not real. Stay centered, stay focused, and most of all, don't play her game. You were made to rewrite the rules. Now pause for a second. How many times have you chased emotional clarity in a place full of confusion? How often have you mistaken a test for love? The moment you stop performing for approval is the moment you step into your highest self, and that changes everything. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Ever felt like you were being auditioned instead of seen? Let's go deeper. Number 5. Don't join the drama, master the moment. She posts to provoke jealousy. She brings up old mistakes out of nowhere. Every moment is a test, an invitation to chaos. But your job is simple. Stay grounded. You don't meet her energy, you rise above it. You don't return fire. You become the calm in the storm. This is where most men fail. She flirts with someone else publicly. She reads your message, but doesn't reply. She shares a cryptic quote clearly aimed at you, and your instinct to respond, to call her out, to prove your worth. That's the trap. The moment you react, she wins, because it was never about the quote. It was about pulling you off center. But the Stoic man, he sees through the game. He knows not every move deserves a response, because the man ruled by emotions is predictable, and the predictable man is easy to manipulate. But the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't chase, becomes rare. And in a world full of emotional noise, rarity is value. Imagine this. You've gone quiet, focused, working on you. Then suddenly, she posts a throwback pic with her ex. She's hoping you'll break, that you'll cave, that you'll prove you still care, but you don't. You hit the gym. You push your goals. You stay silent, not because you don't feel, but because you've trained your response. Her drama, it's not your crisis, it's a test. And your silence, that's your answer. It's not about punishing her, it's about choosing you. Because when you stop being the puppet, you become the man who moves with principle, not impulse. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it that matters. And when you stop reacting, you start leading. You lead yourself, you set the tone, and everything begins to shift. She won't just notice that you're gone. She'll feel your stillness. She'll sense your focus. She'll realize your gravity. That's when the energy shifts, not because you played harder, but because you stopped playing altogether. So, when the drama shows up, and it will, choose calm, choose composure. Don't rise to meet the chaos. Rise above it. That's how you flip the script. You're not here to earn your worth from someone playing games. You're here to guard your peace. Walk with purpose. Let your stillness speak louder than any reaction. Number 6. Be the one who walks when it's time. Too many men linger, hoping she finally change, but true power is knowing when to walk away silently, peacefully, without a performance. You're not leaving her. You're returning to yourself. Just as a Stoic leaves a burning city to save his soul, you walk away from emotional games to protect your inner world. Yes, it's hard. You invested time. You saw potential. You held on to the good moments, and maybe you thought your patience would inspire her to finally treat you right. But a Stoic man doesn't risk his peace on someone else's potential. He sees the truth as it is, not as he wishes it to be. And when the signs are clear, he doesn't beg. He doesn't plead. He stands up and chooses dignity. Sometimes, walking away doesn't mean slamming doors or delivering speeches. It means quiet acceptance. It means recognizing that love mixed with disrespect, confusion, or inconsistency isn't love at all. It's chaos, and a man who values his mission, his heart, and his mind doesn't stay in chaos hoping it will sort itself out. He removes himself. Let's say she starts fading, less responsive, giving off mixed signals, sweet one day, cold the next. Maybe she's testing you, waiting to see if you'll chase, if you'll break. Most men will. They over-explain. They apologize for things they didn't do. They try to fix it, but not you, not anymore. The Stoic man doesn't match confusion with confusion. He meets it with clarity, and sometimes that clarity means letting go. You don't walk to get a reaction. You don't walk to make her miss you. You walk because your soul deserves peace, not puzzles. You walk because staying would mean betraying yourself, and that's one betrayal a real man never accepts. As Epictetus taught, if someone can anger you, realize that your mind is complicit. So when she uses silence as a weapon, when her affection becomes bait, you don't chase, you observe, and eventually you leave the arena entirely. Here's the truth. She won't remember the man who begged. She'll remember the man who saw through the game and didn't play. The one who didn't raise his voice but raised his standard. That's the man who changes everything. That's the game changer. So be that man. The one who doesn't need validation to know his worth. The one who walks gracefully, silently, powerfully when the time comes. Because the moment you stop trying to be chosen is the moment you choose yourself. And that changes everything. Number 7. Hold your frame, or she frame you. If you don't know who you are, she'll decide it for you, and not because she's cruel or calculated. People test boundaries. That's human nature. But if your frame isn't solid, the entire relationship bends out of shape. You'll start dancing to her tune, not your own. You'll find yourself saying yes when you mean no, apologizing just to avoid tension, just to be understood, all while slowly losing yourself piece by piece.
Why?
To feel close, to avoid loss. But Stoicism teaches us, inner clarity must always outweigh outer approval. Epictetus said it best, no man is free who is not master of himself. If you let someone else dictate how you show up, what you tolerate, or what you're worth, you've handed them the pen to write your story. And believe me, no one respects a character who rewrites himself constantly just to stay on the page. Holding your frame isn't about being controlling. It's not ego. It's inner strength. Think of a storm. Weak trees snap, but the oak tree, it bends, but it doesn't break. It stands rooted. That's the energy you bring into any relationship. Not inflexible, but unshakable. Emotional control, unshakable standards, clear boundaries. Let's say she threatens to walk every time you assert yourself. If you panic and chase, what have you taught her? That your boundaries are optional, that your values are negotiable. But imagine this. Instead, you calmly say, I care about you, but I won't abandon who I am just to keep you. Boom. That's not a tactic. That's a standard. That's a man who values his integrity more than attention. And that man, that's the one she doesn't forget. Number 8. Let her feel what it's like when you're gone. When you go quiet, it's not punishment, it's wisdom. You're not playing games, you're creating space. She needs to feel the absence of your energy. Not out of cruelty, but because your presence is something to be earned, not assumed. Most men react to every signal. You don't. You observe. You assess. And when the situation becomes a performance, you exit the stage with composure. That's Stoic maturity. When she feels that absence, when she scrolls and doesn't see you, when your message thread stops at the last word, you're teaching without saying a thing. The attention, the support, the energy you once gave, it's now being poured into your growth. That's not loss, that's transformation. And when she realizes the game only worked when you played it, that's when everything sinks in. Number 9. Purpose, not proof. Stop auditioning. Stop trying to prove you're enough. Because every time you do, you give her the power to decide if you're worthy. But worth isn't something to be granted. It's something you already carry. If you're constantly explaining, overgiving, and justifying, you're reacting. You're not leading. You're chasing a moving target that never intends to stand still. Shift your energy. Build your body. Sharpen your mind. Stack your wins. And realize, the man who walks with purpose never begs for permission to be who he is. Marcus Aurelius said it best. It's not the man who has too little, but the one who craves more, who is poor. And craving approval, that's the poorest state of all. When you stop seeking to be seen, that's when people really start to look. You become magnetic not by chasing, but by growing. Number 10. You win the moment you no longer need to. The strongest men aren't obsessed with outcomes. They don't need to win the girl. They are the prize. Their value isn't in her hands. It's built from within. You don't crumble when she ghosts. You don't panic when she tests you. You don't flinch when she pulls away. Because your worth isn't up for debate. You're not here to prove, you're here to live. Centered, unshaken. She posts to provoke. Most men chase. You nod, close the app, and keep building. Because the man who is driven by mission, not moods, that man is unforgettable. Ironically, the less you try to win her over, the more powerful you become. You become the question she can't answer, the calm in her chaos, the one who made her reflect, not react. As Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal. It's won by ignoring what's beyond your control. And her reactions, her games, they're never yours to fix, so stand still. Be rare, be rooted in your truth. That's how you win, not by playing harder, but by walking away stronger. You've seen the path, you've felt the shift. If this message reminded you who you are, let it show. Like the video, drop a comment, type, "I'm the game changer." And if you're ready to keep rising, don't stop here. The next videos are right here, waiting for you. They're made to help you stay sharp, stay grounded, and stay powerful. I'll see you there. Stay focused, stay unshaken, stay legendary.